Well, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to the Aurora Racing League, where today we have the Singapore Grand Prix. We've got 15 drivers battling it out. Anyone not here that's noteworthy? Yes, and it's totally no pro. Second race on the run. And he isn't here for the Grand Prix, which means the man who was leading, albeit only for one race, hello, welcome back, Ern, is going to drop even further down the order this weekend. Well, probably will, due to just missing events. No race control again. No, I see you're in the race. Good luck. And just like that to everyone, good luck. For the Grand Prix. Now let's set this all up, shall we? As we can see, the Williams of Beast Plays, who's a new one. I've not seen him before. Coming out. So detailed, no, we don't want any detailed telemetry, lap data, and full track map. And we can see there is one Haas driver, and it is Creative Coconut. As always, it's almost like tradition, the Haas driver. There is quite a few new guys, absolutely. Some people here I've not actually ever seen before, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, Aiden, Mateus, Maze Milk Cart, so we'll just call them Milk Cart, and Beast Plays. Right, for some reason I couldn't change camera, now I can. Creative Coconut, it's almost like tradition here at the league, and someone's already gone off. Is that Milk Cart? Well, not a way to put your shine glory on your name, spinning out on the first time I've ever even mentioned you. That's alright, I'm not too fussed as a commentator. It'll be the driver who's more annoyed at that. Anyway, Creative Coconut, always the first out. Quick fingers, and also the Haas garage is at the end of the pit lane, so it only makes sense. Creative Coconut then will set the benchmark time as per usual, rocking that United States of America helmet. I think that is, at least. And whilst we watch the Haas driver weave the ins and outs of the Singapore street circuit, I can run you through, as always, the championship standings. So, oh well, never mind. Hang on, give us a minute. Let's see. Obviously, purple sectors for Creative Coconut. Right. Rayner at the top, and by some margin as well. 21 points separating him and Forrest Jump, who's in P2. Totally no pro, P3, but obviously he's not here again. Yeah. He told me he will miss a few more as well. Oh, that's not good, because I think that probably would discount him for the rest of the season, unfortunately for him. Right, Creative Coconut. About to set the lap time. Only one more sector to go. Mikhail, P4. And wow, he's doing well. To come back from where he was earlier on in the season, he's up to P4. And he's only 30 points off P1. I mean, Rayner, it's closing to the end of the season, but it's not all in the wraps yet. Mikhail, with a few very, very good races, could very much redeem himself for what happened last season and win it all. But that would be a story, an incredible story at that. Creative Coconut rounds the final corner. What's it going to be? It's a 139.7. We won't know how good of a lap time that will be until we have our next person to cross the line, and I think that next person is... oh, it's Weimar. Right there, it's a 140. So Creative Coconut at the top of the moment. Who's that crossing the line? It was one of the Ferraris, but I think that was to start their lap. Here's Rayner though, championship leader, so we'll stay with. And that's not great at all. Milk Cart's already out the session. First ever session, I think, here at Aurora Racing League. And it's not started very well at all for the Williams driver. Right, Rayner going through the tunnel. That kind of chicane. And into that sharp right-hander. Really difficult section to nail. Very easy to lose the rear end. And then you've got to be careful on the left-hander here as well. Let's see what the Ferrari driver can do as he crosses the line. Reigning world champion. And he's put a gap of over 2 seconds between him in second place. But of course, he's just the only person who's crossed the line at the moment. Mikhail, is he about to cross the line and set his lap time? I think he is. What's it going to be for the Alfa Romeo driver? Much more aggressive line into that penultimate corner, but it's only good enough for P2, 3/10 off. Mikhail, that's someone around in the background there, and it's Beast Plays. We've had actually no more times on the mark there. I think Sindro might be about to set one. No, he's not. He's invalidated. Bendel has just crossed the line, invalidated as well. We can see Aiden to round the final corner. He's on mediums for his lap, which is just interesting. But that's P3. There's definitely more time there for the Alpine driver, but maybe he's just saving a set of softs and he's going to go hyper aggressive for the race. Forest Jump, I don't think that's his time, and I hope it wouldn't be, considering he's P2 in the standings. Bear in mind, Forest Jump, I've said last season Rayner was the most consistent. I also said it this season. Forest Jump is the most consistent driver on the grid, and it's probably because he doesn't get into that many battles, so there's no risk. Young leader, by the way, P3, but look at the gap between P1 and P2 and P3. Massive gap there, as per usual, really. We've got Bendel on a lap, it's invalidated. Sindra on a lap, which isn't invalidated, so we'll stick with the McLaren driver for now, but he's going extremely slow. So this might not be his proper lap, but I honestly couldn't tell you. This track does get a bit slow in some places. Forest Jump, I would say, is the most consistent driver on the grid. He's P2 and it's for a reason. He finishes every race he starts, I'm pretty sure. He's just so incredible at that, and I've got to give it, in fairness to him, it's very, very difficult to do something like that. He always lets faster drivers by as well, so one of the great sportsmanship from him. If you're faster than him, he'll let you by because he doesn't want to get into that battle, and I think that's why he's so good. He never gets into battles that much with people who are faster than him, so there's no risk of crashing. Sindro will cross the line in a second. I don't think this is a qualifying lap. But he will cross the line, and it's only good for P7. Bottom of those who have set a proper competitive lap time. Let's see if the Red Bull can string something together. Obviously 11 seconds up on his lap time, but that's to be expected considering he set a plus 2 minute lap. Let's see what the Red Bull driver can do. Crosses the line, P3. I mean, he's quick and he's consistent. It's a pretty good mix. 138.8. The king of the midfield, I think I called him last time out. And I think that's correct. I don't think there's anyone in the midfield that can contest with him, but he can't contest with the front runners either. So, kind of a difficult situation for someone like Forest Jump, but I don't think it matters too much when you're that high up in the standings. He's obviously doing something right. Ernest Aslan, my mate down at Sky Race Control most days on a invalidated lap, unfortunately. We go down to Tesco Meal Deal in the Aston Martin. Using that number 19. Let's see what he can do as well. Sindro, I think, is on a lap. Sorry. I've got a little bit of a sore throat. Someone was going really slow at Beast Plays. Right, we'll go back to Tesco Meal Deal then. But what I will do is I'll get the track map up in a second for myself. Not that you can see it, but... That's well, I'm guessing the track limits on this game aren't great. Invalidated by pixels, unfortunately. I don't even think the FIA would pick up on it in real life, to be honest. This game is really strict. Anyway, Tesco Meal, they're all running it a bit wide. They're managing to keep it in those white lines. And it seems to be, whenever we're going through this section, I think he's actually automatically put on... Oh, bad exit, though. From the Aston Martin. I just can't change the camera. There we go. Anyway, have a look. With only a very few amount of races remaining, 5, including this one, 4 after this one, Azerbaijan, France, Great Britain and Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I mean, it's a very tight championship, and around goes Tesco Meal Deal. Right, Domi to set their lap time. I don't think this is the lap time. They look like they bottomed out of the corner. Beast Plays also on a lap. We'll get back to Domi because they're almost finished. But I think Rain has started another lap as well. Mikhail hasn't. I'm just trying to see Creative Coconut, to be fair. First to set a lap. P6. It's not terrible at all for the Haas driver. Definitely room for improvement. But we'll see where they can get throughout the race, right? And qualifying as well. Domi then, round the final few corners. What's this good enough for? It's good enough for P5, so solid lap time of 139.2. Yeah, that is good. Rayner, let's see if there's any room for improvement for the Ferrari driver. can see purple sector 1 for the Ferrari, and it's looking pretty positive at the moment. Mikhail, to note, is also on another lap. Beast Players, I think, will actually, or Bendel will round the final corner now and go into the pits. Just trying to get my track map working, but it isn't at the moment. Interesting. Well, have a look at Rayner. I'm not sure if there was a purple sector 2 there. I'm like desperately trying to get a track map up here, and it's there we go. Right. We've got the track map. Rayner, with only one more full corner to go. Let's see what he can do. How much of an improvement is it? A 137 flat. That's a massive improvement for Rayner. Let's see. Can Mikhail match it? He's going to need to improve by 9/10 if he does. But he is going quicker this time round than he was last. And that's definitely somewhat due to the track temperatures improving and track conditions improving. Let's see what the Alfa Romeo driver can do. Round the final corner. Keeping it in the lines. It's a 137.2. It's a really good lap, but it's not better than Rayner. And he hasn't been as quick these past few times as Bendel goes P3. Good lap from Bendel. For good enough for P3 there. Tesco Mealdale gets a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Mikhail. And you can see Mikhail now. Is there damage to that car? No, there isn't, but that could have been bad. Obviously, there's still time for one more run. That could have been a lot worse. Right, I've got everything I need set up now, I believe. "23 corners around this circuit. Aiden goes P3 with a 138.3, but that's taken away with a 138.3, but just a bit quicker from Young Leader. Bendel P5, Forrest Jump P6, moving out of the way for Shotmaker, his teammate, I believe, actually. Yeah, so good teamwork there. What can Shotmaker do? Still yet to set a lap as well. We've got, I think, a Williams of Ernestas. Yes, about to cross the line. So we'll have a look at what Ern can do. Right-hander 20, and then turn 21, then to 22 and 23. Pretty much one corner, but it isn't technically. Good enough for P9 with a 140 flat, pretty much 140.1 nearly. We go to Shotmaker then. He's in P12 without a lap to his name, but he's gone purple in Sector 2. Shotmaker. I mean, I'm not trying to jinx anything because I normally do, but with only a few more corners to go as he enters turn 20. Oh no! No! It's always the commentator's curse, and I'm so sorry. Shotmaker, I shouldn't have commentated on the lap. Purple middle sector, and no, he's brake checked the Alpine behind him as well of Weimart. Was it Weimart? No, it wasn't. It was Aiden. Mateus P1, and by some margin, I didn't even realise Mateus was really saying these kind of laps. But it's 136.7, 3/10 clear of Rayner. Well, Rayner's gonna have to get back out there as quick as he can, to try and set another lap, if he can. Forrest Jump then was on, no, not Forrest Jump, sorry, it was Shotmaker, was on a rapid lap, but has left just too much out there, and he's gone straight on at a corner. Just heartbreak, really. Beast Plays still yet to set a lap time as well. We ride on board with the Mercedes driver now. This technical section of the track, which I personally do hate, round the hairpin, which turn 13, and this, one of the 3 DRS zones of this circuit, down to turn 14 then. Quite a sharp right-hander, very sharp right-hander, and it's a purple sector 2 for Beast Plays. So Sector 2 is clearly ramping up because we had Shotmaker getting purple Sector 2 before, and now it's Beast Plays through this kind of interesting section with 15, 16 and 17. Then midway through Sector 3 we are now into turn 18 and then 19, but the lap's been invalidated. And yeah, that's not what you want to see as a driver. Lap invalidated. And that's another one. Someone who's on a really good lap time loses the lap time due to track limits. Here's another one. Is this a glitch I'm getting? Or is this genuinely everyone's going quicker in the middle sector? Purple Sector 2 for Forest Jump. He's in P7 at the moment. I said he's king of the midfield. Clearly there's some other people who are faster like Young Leader today. But I mean, he's got 5/10ths in there. Some surely. Around turn 21 up to 22 and 23. The penultimate and final corner of this lap. Finally someone does complete it without exceeding track limits. 6/10ths increased. And it's P4 for Forest Jump. That's amazing. Mikhail is out of qualifying. He retires in the garage. No more laps for him. Rayner's on a flyer though. Is it going to be quick enough? You can see the Ferrari driver now. Round these final few corners. And you can see 22 and 23 ahead of him. It's the left-hander. There's not long left to go at all in this lap. And I feel like that might not have been his proper lap. He doesn't improve, so I think this is his push lap now. He had so much ERS left over from that lap, I didn't actually think at all that was his push lap. This is it now for the Ferrari driver. No, there's nothing left for him. No time left for him. And it doesn't look like the AlphaTauri is going to be setting another lap. Rayner could snatch it late on here. Forest Jump, he'll be coming into the pits. No more laps left for him, I don't think. Young Leader on an outlap. He'll make it to the line, I think, just in time. Aiden, he could also put a spanner in the works for Rayner as well because he's on another lap. And you know he has a bit of pace. Does he have enough to catch? Possibly not. He needs to do quite a bit. Weemark gets a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Tesco Mealdeal. And Tesco Mealdeal's out of the race. Or out of qualifying at least. We can have a look at this incident on board with Domi now. As he rounds the final few. Oh, that's a big, big crash indeed. Yeah, that's a bad one. Rayner, he's 3/10 up on his time. It's all working. It's all coming to Rayner here. And at the moment, he's on pole. It's provisional pole. It's definitely there for the taking. Can he keep it clean through these final few corners? People are starting to cross the line now. And we'll just check them crossing the line. Beast Plays is disqualified from the session for being parked in this dangerous place. Only a few more corners for Rayner now. And it's 22 and 23. I don't know how many times I've said those two numbers. He's going to cross the line, keeping in the lines. And he does take pole. And it's a blistering lap. It's only P1 by a 10th. But a 10th is all he needs. And it's pole position for now. I don't think there's anyone else who can probably contend that except Domi. No, he spins around. Debris flying off the AlphaTauri. And you can see the Ferrari driver behind him, Young Leader, Rayner's teammate. Domi spins around. And I think that's compromised Young Leader's lap. Aiden, the last person. Could he put it on pole? Well, he puts it P4 ahead of Forest Jump. But it's not good enough to crack into the top 3. 8/10 separating P3 and P4. Unbelievable. Try and have a look for anyone else. And that's Bendel round the final corner. And he just drops the rear. Oh, painful to watch. Ernestas. This is it for Ern. Last lap was a 140. I saw 7/10 increase. Where can the Williams driver put their car? Only a few more corners to go, of course. And up to the penultimate and final corners. Domi's retired from the session. What can the Williams driver do? Cross the line, and it's good enough for P10. So dude does break into the top 10 there, Ern. But that rounds up qualifying here at Singapore. And it's Rayner on pole. Interesting. Sorry, that is hit a wall, lost a bit of the wing. Fair play to keep going. Beast says, my first push lap got blocked by a crash car. Yeah, I think that happened to a few people, you know. We'll have a look. And, do you know what? That could have... yeah, to get P16, it makes sense. Disqualified, I think you were on the... Made it to the line with the second left. Jesus, that's running it close. But Rayner on pole and desperate to put a massive gap behind anyone who's trying to get in his way with charging towards the title this season. Matheus P2, Mikhail P3, and Mikhail knows the importance of performing well today if he wants to, if he does want to stab at the title. Right. Run out of ERS at the end because I had to use it to make it to the line. Oh. Margins. To be fair, though, I'd rather make it to the line and not have enough ERS at the end than not be able to improve on my lap, if that makes any sense. I think, you definitely made the right decision. A second, though, that's tight. Margins. That's what F1 is all about, though. 1 second in F1's like an hour in real life. It's unbelievable. You can see EA and Codemasters still haven't fixed this glitch with the pit crews doing T-poses. Hopefully no turn 1 crashes. Yeah, well, no, I know what you mean. Well, here we go then. It's time for the formation lap, my favourite part because it gives me time to run through the order. Have a look then. Lap data. Yes, of course. We won't use any telemetry because people use it to their advantage. They can do. Right, Rayner P1. Brilliant lap time. But Matheus, I've never seen him drive here. What a lap time to get P2. He did have P1. And I think if he went out again, he probably could have kept P1 as well. He's definitely going to be putting Rayner under some pressure, which is going to help this man here, the man in the Alfa Romeo, Mikhail. It's going to help him because he was so far back at the start of this season, and he's really gone. He's done a really good job to pull himself back into this title fight. He needs a good race if he does still want to be contending. Aiden behind him, another one of the new drivers along with Matheus. Good lap, P4, Forest jump. I mean, he's a very passive driver. Will we see a bit more aggression from him today? I do hope so. Get stuck in there. But I think he'll be happy to settle with a top 5 result, really. Domi, P6, spun on the last lap. Really ruined his last lap, and Young Leaders as well. Young Leaders starting behind him. So let's see if these two, because obviously their teammates are the ones who are in P1 and P2. They're going to be battling it out. It's very important for the Ferrari team to have a good, well, for Rayner to have a good teammate for the constructors. I think Ferrari probably got it under control now because they've got a massive lead in the constructors. Bendel P8 in the Mercedes, leaving them on as beasts down in P14. Shotmaker P9 with his teammate up in P5, as we already said. Ernestas P10 with that last qualifying lap there to improve enough to get into the top 10, running out of ERS on the last lap, but that's alright. Creative Coconut, always the first to get out, but does it really benefit because the Haas driver's down in P11 today? Not one of the better performances, but let's see what they can do. Syndrome, Milkheart, Beast Plays, Weemart and Tesco Meal Deal are those of the bottom 12. As I say, anything can happen in Formula 1. Always keep an eye on them, but you can see this man here. He's got one thing in his sights, and it's not just turn 1, but it's the championship. For what I think could even be a 3rd time in a row. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure, because I've not commentated here all the years, but we do actually have it, so we can see the start lights this time as the Alfa Romeo goes spinning around in the back. I think that's Tesco Meal Deal. Well, Formula 1 back in Singapore, here at Aurora Racing League. Rayner on pole will do everything he can to keep that going into turn 1. We've got 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Good start from Rayner. Good start from the AlphaTauri driver as well. And a good start for Mikhail. They're going to be close. And down the inside, Matheus into turn 1. Grabs the lead for a second. Forces Rayner wide. Rayner into the wall. Does he get damage? I'm not sure. But he's now down in P4. Matheus takes the lead of the race. Mikhail behind him. Up into P2. And down the inside goes Rayner. What a move that was on Aiden. That was rapid. Really difficult overtaking spot there as well. Brilliant move from Rayner. That had ambitious written all over it. Rayner, desperate to make up for that lap 1 incident. Matheus goes, oh, I don't know what happened there. I think Mikhail went down the inside. No, it's Rayner. He's gone around and he drops all the way down into 13th place, 14th. That is unbelievable. Mateus back into P1, Mikhail P2, and Rayner, absolute heartbreak. Aiden up to P3, Forest Jump P4, and I think there's a bit of a gap between Forest Jump and Aiden for now, starting to form. Can he close that in before he gets taken by Young Leader? Will he get taken by Young Leader? Who knows? Mateus then, leading the way through this 31 lap circuit. A really long and tedious race for these drivers. And I mean, if there isn't any action, it's a long and tedious race for me as well. Hopefully there will be though. And we've already got our first story emerging. Rayner down in P12 on lap 1. Young Leader then, his teammate, in P5 and putting a bit of pressure under the Red Bull, who's already a second behind. No, he's not, sorry, he's 6/10. It's Aiden who's a second behind Mateus, and Mateus goes spinning around, and Young Leader goes spinning around as well. That final corner could be treacherous, and that's Beast Plays as well. That's 3 cars, sorry, we saw spinning at the exact same spot, in the exact same fashion, on the exact same corner. I cannot believe what we've just seen. But P1 and P2 are now in P11 and P8. This is unbelievable. Mikhail has had P1 virtually handed to him as his two main contenders have spun around and are now out of contention for P1 as it stands. Mikhail can cruise for a while here. A lot of weight taken off his shoulders. He just needs to keep his cool, not make the same mistakes as those guys, and surely he'll be in good running to finish highly in this race. I cannot believe, I genuinely cannot believe what I've just seen. That is the most chaotic lap 1 I think that's ever happened here at Aurora Racing. That I've ever commentated on, at least. We look behind then, Domi. P4, there's a pretty big gap then behind, but at Bendel, where on earth has he come from in this race? All of these spins and stuff, and we've got another, and it's from Bendel's teammate Beast Plays down there. Now, we saw a few people quite close together, and it's Mateus down the inside of Ernestas. He takes a P10 spot, so he's making his way back up. Sindro in front of him, his next target, Rayner, trying to get past Creative Coconut, who's up to P7 from P11. So you can see all of these spins, it really pays off to just not make mistakes, and Beast Plays are retired from the session. Mikhail on the fastest lap, Rayner going to be looking for a way past Creative Coconut, and this might be a chance to do it. Surely not into turn 1. He looked at it, but there's no way he could be. Something was up with my car, felt like it was on ice. It's probably an issue with cooling of the tyres, or you could have made some underbody damage which you weren't aware of, which makes it really difficult grip wise. Right, DRS for Rayner, we ride on board, and he goes flying past the Haas driver of Creative Coconut up into P7. Shotmaker next in line. Let's see what Rayner can do over this race, but at the moment Mikhail looking very comfortable up top. Forest Jump then on the running down to that left-hander, which then flicks into the right-hander here. This is turn 12 they're going through now, up to the hairpin of turn 13, and a really difficult one to get right. Right on board with Forest Jump. He does get it right, but he's now a second behind. Does still manage to grab DRS on Aiden, but hardly. And we'll just see the top 4 kind of drifting further and further apart. Rayner though, not taking any time at all to gain on Shotmaker, and he's already all over the back of the Red Bull driver. Will Shotmaker try and hold him off, or will he just let him by? We'll have to wait and see. Rayner's in. No, well, no, I was gonna say that he wasn't slow to go past, but he goes right into the back of Shotmaker. I was gonna say Shotmaker wasn't in a hurry to go anywhere, and clearly not, because Rayner's just gone into the back of him. No visible front wing damage, fortunately for the Ferrari driver, but now he's not going to be happy at all. Defending the inside is Shotmaker, but he's no match for the pace of Rayner. I'm sure that Rayner's not going to be happy about that at all. Mateus round the outside of Creative Coconut as well. Rayner and Mateus, two guys who had massive incidents on lap 1, making their way through the field. What a move from Mateus down the inside. And now Rayner's got to be thinking, well, hang on a minute, I need to catch Bendel, who's 5 seconds up the road. I also need to keep the absolutely charging AlphaTauri at bay, who's behind me. I mean, Rayner's now in a difficult position. Mateus is free to push. Rayner is also free to push. He's got a lot of clean air in front of him. But, he's got to be careful because Mateus is showing incredible pace. Forest jump. The gap's still 7 tenths there or thereabouts. Now it's 9. And almost a second going into the hairpin. But it isn't a second and he will pick up DRS just about. We look behind us now. That's Bendel who's spun around. And that's a shame. Because Bendel was having a really good race indeed. Creative Coconuts DNF'd. And I think I did see that actually. And there's battling going on. And I'm doing my best to keep up with it. But with all the cars moving down, it's very difficult to select the driver you want. And safety car. We ride on board with the Williams to see if we can see the Haas car. Or will that incident get removed quick enough? Unfortunately, it has. Right, sorry, a few things going on there, but we are back with... Oh, my voice is back at least. Mikhail then. P1, this is, by the way, this has massively helped Rayner and Mateus. Mateus pits early, taking advantage of the safety car. Onto the mediums goes the AlphaTauri driver. What a first 5 laps that has been. Mikhail. P1 from P3. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, because he absolutely does. He's not made any mistakes. But he's had it just handed to him. Rayner with just a mistake really early on, which dropped him down loads. And then Mateus on the final corner. Coming out the final corner onto the pit straight, really. He start-finish straight. He just spun it. And that's handed Mikhail one of the easiest P1s, P3 to P1s I think you'll ever see. Aiden, P2, and we can have a look at the positions gained and stuff here. They've all gone up 2 places, everyone here, except for Rayner, who's dropped 4 from P1. But he is back up to 5th now, which is much better than what happened before. Shotmaker, 3 places gained. Sindro, 5. Yeah, that's right, he started down in P12, so good drive from Sindro. Bendel, oh, I feel so bad. Because where did he start? To 8th. He started 8th. And he was up into P5. He had a really good start there, and he's just dropped down the order. I feel really bad about that. But driver error, rear end, you can't blame it. The handling model in this game is absolutely atrocious. Hence why I don't drive anymore. Why I don't really do any league racing myself. Mateus, P8. No, not P8. What am I talking about? P10 from P2. He pit under the safety car to take advantage. Will it pay off? Only time will tell. Everyone down here has pretty much stayed as they were. No one else to note about. I don't think anyone really out position. The only 2 people I can really think about would be Sindro and Shotmaker, so good starts for them. Young leader drops a place. I'm not quite sure how that one happened for him. He's running a pretty decent play. I think he did actually know. He was one of the ones who spun, maybe, possibly. There's a lot of people who spun early on. Anyway, back to the front. How long will it take for this safety car to go in? You know what? I think about it, and I think about it a lot for this league in general. The Mercedes have some of the worst luck you'll ever see. Any Mercedes driver, if you get into a Mercedes car in this league race, you just get bad luck. I know Minions used to run with Mercedes a lot. His luck's just sometimes absolutely dreadful. But I think the Mercedes cars are a curse, you know. I mean, the fastest Mercedes car out there today is probably the safety car. Saying lots about the luck of that Mercedes car. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the safety car crash, to be honest. with their luck. But surely we won't have the safety car out for too many more laps. It's really, really, really slow around this circuit. It's a really long race considering how long the lap times are. You know, in the 130s to do 31 laps of that is a bit tedious. But I hope the safety car isn't out for too much longer, because I think I've got my dinner waiting. So, tell Bert Mylander to get a move on there. But no, in all seriousness, we've got 8 people watching, and this is the most chaotic lap 1 I think I've ever seen. Because that, obviously, we've done the first 5 laps from the racing, but what I mean is that lap 1 was insane. 3 drivers around in the same corner, and as I spectated one go around, another one went around, and then another one. It was just ridiculous to watch. But as we wait for the safety car to get called in, oh fantastic, we've got another lap under the safety car. So, I don't really know what to add here. As it stands, Mikhail is looking good for this race. Obviously, we know Mateus, who was P2, pit under the safety car to take that gamble, take that risk. Will it pay off? I imagine so. I mean, will the mediums run to the end of the race? I've got no idea. I've got absolutely no idea. But I'm sure he knows what he's doing with the pit strategy. Tesco Mealdale, I imagine he'll be able to catch up with the safety car. You'd hope so. But he is just coming out the pits. So, interesting. I'm not entirely sure what the Aston Martin driver's done there. Mediums can do about 17 laps at a push, I think. Good input from Bendel there. Yeah, 17 laps at a push. Yeah, I started with softs, made up 5 places, and my tyres were just ice and they weren't warm up. Yeah, it's a night race. I'm sure it's not that hot there. I mean, I might be wrong. I'm not entirely sure what the temperatures are. I don't really know what happened, to be honest. But I know the grip levels on these cars in this year's game are terrible. Bendel, like you said, 17 laps seems about right, I'd say. I mean, Mateus, it's interesting. I mean, I understand why. It's a safety car. He's probably the fastest guy out there today. I think soft start would be really good, especially with the safety car. Yeah, definitely. I can run you through really, really quickly. Tyres, everyone's on hards except for Rayner, Young Leader, Mateus, Bendel, and Weemont and Tesco Mealdale are all on the mediums. No soft runners. Anyway, safety car in this lap. Most people on medium will pit before lap 19. I doubt it. If you started on mediums, maybe. I reckon people will go to like lap 21 though, because safety car will extend the life of those tyres a bit more. I reckon medium runners will see them in about lap 20 and onwards. 19. If you're going onto the hards, I mean, that makes a bit of sense. But it's an undercut. Anyway, Mikhail leads him out the corner, and Aiden is not letting him get away, which is not something you often see here. Normally, the guy who leads him away always shoots the front runners, but Aiden's done a really good job at keeping right behind him off the restart. Young Leader with a battle with Sindro. Mateus up the inside of both of them, and oh no, Sindro into the wall. Sindro will drop all the way down because of that crash into the wall, loses a bit of his front wing. That's not good at all. Mateus past Young Leader now, and Rayner's still P5, Young Leader, Mateus P7 from P10. So that medium strategy, that medium call, is working out well at the moment. Rayner 5/10 off Domi, but it's still it's quite early on to go for the overtakes at the moment. Everyone's really close together. Bendel putting Young Leader under a lot of pressure. I think they're both on the mediums. So, I mean, look at how close everyone is together. I think I'm about to cover the front runners at the moment, but you can see then Aiden just starting to lose ground on Mikhail. Forest Jump keeping Aiden, go on, what's the word? Humble, at bay, keeping him on his toes, I think is what I should say. But the gap's starting to increase, and Domi is getting put under a bit of pressure from Reina. And Mateus is putting Shotmaker under a lot of pressure as well. Forest Jump P3, I'm sure he'd be happy with a podium, but is a podium reasonable when you've got people like Mateus and Reina who will start to tear through the field? Domi, mistake, and lets 3 cars through. And Mateus, oh no! Mateus, what's happened there? I have no idea what's happened there. Does he have damage? No, it doesn't seem like it, but something happened there. And oh no, something's happened again! Mateus, what's going on? I think the AlphaTauri driver's done. I don't know what's happened, but it's not looking good at all for him. Bendel, P6 here, 5 tenths only to Young Leader, and it'll definitely start putting him under a bit more pressure. Aiden is keeping Mikhail on the ground at the moment because he's still actually managed to keep that gap. Reina, a second behind Forest Jump. I'm sure that won't last for long. Mateus starting to make moves up the field again. I cannot believe what I've just seen down the inside of Ernestas. But he just had an absolute shocker of a restart all of a sudden. Like, he started so well and now it's all gone down the drain, all that hard work. And he just makes it a lot more difficult on himself. We look at the rear wing of Young Leader, but we won't be looking at it for long because I think down the around the outside, Bendel was going to try and make it on the switchback though, and Bendel does get past for now. Down the inside, can Young Leader try and keep the move, keep the position? I don't think he can, and that's an absolutely brilliant move from Bendel. Does get past Young Leader. Can Young Leader get back past these few next corners? We'll have to wait and see, but at the moment, that was a really good move from Bendel. And the Mercedes lot, I was saying it was bad before. It's getting better. But let's not jinx it. Let's try not to at least. The gap now, 1.6 to Mikhail, 1.7 to Mikhail from Aiden. This is what I mean. Mikhail just rapid and won't be slipping up at all. Mateus back up into P7 where he was before the spin, I think. And Reina, I mean, he's getting closer to Forest Jump. But how much closer? Tesco Mule gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. One of the most common ones, actually. Drivers often forget that there's even speeding in the pit lane as a penalty. Shotmaker. Although, let's have a look at this, because Ernestas and Shotmaker are side by side, but with the Red Bull with DRS down the inside. Will he keep that position? No, because Ernestas brakes a bit earlier and just manages to get him on the cutback. That was a lovely bit of defending from Ernestas. Very respectable move. Good space giving as well. And yeah, no, Ernestas done well to keep that. How long will he be able to keep him at bay for? Have a look back at Reina, because Forest Jump, I don't think he really stands much of a chance. Moves to the inside and just lets the Ferrari driver by. I said it in qualifying, and I stand by it. I think he'll do that for anyone who's really got lots of pace over him, because there's no point in fighting it. You're only going to damage your own times even more. Reina's passed up into a podium position, but you know he's not going to stop there. Aiden's next target for him, I think. We've got yellow flags in sector 2 and 3, and oh no, it's Shotmaker. Shotmaker's gone around and he's trying to get back going. Ernestas gets a 3-second time, but the man he was battling for multiple warnings regarding track limit. That's not good for Shotmaker. That's really not good at all. Right, Mateus, maybe going a bit easier through the corners. Clearly not, because that's a fastest lap on those medium tyres. He's flying here. Forest Jump. Still not too far away actually from... Oh no, Tesco meal deals around. Yellow flags, green flags though, and no safety car, thank goodness for that. Creative Coconut's out the race, which is a shame. Do I know where the next race is? Yes, I do. I believe it's Azerbaijan, if I remember correctly. It's on the Discord, and there's an app you can get for your phone where you can check the races. So I highly, if you're going to stick in this league, which I hope you do, I highly recommend getting yourself at least one of those. I'm sure you'll be on the Discord. You have to be on the Discord, but yeah, get the app as well. That's what I use. Right, Mateus, not giving young leader a second's breath, 3/10 breath, and down the inside he goes. Young leader ran it too wide, and Mateus is always going to capitalise off any mistake he can. On those mediums, they're really working well for him, and he's back up to P6. Azerbaijan is nice because less places to crash, and everyone goes 0-0 wings. Yep, no differentiating because of that really long straight, longest in Formula 1. Actually, the Azerbaijan straight at the end. I've not seen any crashes in game happening at that turn 1, but we know Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo had an incident there in 2018. And into the pits goes young leader, one of the first people to pit actually in the race. No, Bendel, no! That's, he's gone around. Luckily, he's going to keep in a P6 position. Mateus is the only one to get past, and I don't want to be negative, but I think that was going to happen anyway, because Mateus is just that rapid. But that Mercedes look is starting to show. Reina, 1.7 the gap, is struggling to close down on Aiden. Domi with the fastest lap. That's interesting. In the AlphaTauri, Mateus' teammate. Good stuff from Domi. Let's see what else he can do this race. But Reina not really closing down on Aiden. If anything, Forest Jump is closer. And if Forest Jump is putting Reina under more pressure than Reina's putting under Aiden, obviously I don't think Forest Jump will actually be able to get past him. And he is starting to drop back a bit now. But I think you know what I mean. I think it's kind of switched now, and Reina is going to start pushing a bit harder on Aiden, who's 4 seconds behind Mikhail. Mikhail looking very comfortable at the moment. Trying to have a look on the map and on the timing screen as well. I don't think there's anything really happening this race except for Domi, who's a bit closer to Shotmaker than I first anticipated. Right, let's see this then, Domi. You've got the fastest lap. Let's see the overtaking ability. AlphaTauri, the sister team against the main team, which is Red Bull. AlphaTauri will move to the outside, and Domi, lovely move to get into the points paying position that is P10. Only 1 point, but he gets 2. Well, he had 2. Mateus has just snatched that one away for the fastest lap. And they are starting to go a bit quicker, but he picks up a 3-second time penalty. That's not ideal. As Milk Cart, actually, I think is out of spin, and gives Domi another position. Into P9, 2 points for Domi. Shotmaker will want to get a bit of that on Milk Cart as well, and I think he might be able to. Soon, maybe not. Or they're close, and he can just phase through because I don't think Milk Cart's actually racing now. P9 for Shotmaker, 2 points for him. Domi, P8 because young No Ernestas has pit. So 4 points, 2 points. And yeah, the track is quieting down a fair bit now. Reina though is actually starting to close in on Aiden, and Mateus is starting to close in on Forest Jump. Obviously, I'm calling it now. Forest Jump will get put under a little bit of pressure from Mateus, and he'll move aside and let him by. And I really do respect that from him. The problem is that he's really struggling to stay in DRS of Reina, and I think he's finally lost it now. He's only going to start dropping back, and he'll drop back even more when he lets Mateus by. Let's see what happens though. Right on board with the AlphaTauri driver. And that's another one into the pits. And into the pits goes Reina. Well, we were going to watch one lap on board with Mateus, but I kind of want to see what tyres he's going on to. Obviously, he's going on to the hards. And I apologise, because I know definitely somebody said before about the medium runners pitting on lap 17, and I went, nah. Or lap 19, I was like, no. I reckon they'll go longer than that. Well, I'm very, very wrong, because they're already coming in on lap 14. I think I kind of overestimated, actually. Do you know what? I think at that point in time I was thinking it's a 40 lap race, which is just stupid. I apologise for that. I was thinking like 39-40 laps, not what it actually is, which is only 31. So yeah, I apologise. That's really a mistake on my behalf. If I kind of understood how many laps, I wasn't really envisioning. Yeah, tyres are on this track don't last. No, exactly. Yeah, that's a point as well. It was you, Beast, who said it. So I apologise that I was completely wrong. I don't actually think I was thinking about that properly. Anyway, that's my bad. But no, that's a good shout from you. To be fair, 14's early. I think we'll see a lot more coming in, as we already have. Forest jump. Oh no! Mateus got past him. Did he lock up? It didn't look like he locked up. I think he's just outbraked himself. And into the wall, and that's an end plate gone. Forest jump will be in. He'll be in very soon as well. End of this lap, Forest jump luckily was quite close to the end of that lap before he broke the front wing. But that's not great for him at all. Mateus then, he's getting quite close to the back of Aiden, and it kind of shows the gulf in race pace between Mateus and Rayner. Because it was taking Rayner a lot longer than it's taken Mateus to get to the back of that Alpine. Into the pits then goes Forest jump like I suspected. Hopefully he does fit a new front wing onto there. Here comes Mateus in the AlphaTauri. He's made his fair share of moves this race. This is just like any one of those down the inside. Late on the brakes. Good move. They do touch. Ernest gets a 3-second time penalty as well. Good move from Mateus. Back up to P2. But he will need to pit. Let's have a look though. Young leader. Been put under pressure by the Red Bull of Forest Jump. I never really see Forest Jump making many overtakes at all. Let's see how the Red Bull driver does it. DRS, but he's far too far back to make a move here, I'm sure. Yellow's in Sector 2, I think. Oh no, that's Tesco Meal Deal, isn't it? Again, he's spun around quite a few times this race. I am actually trying to look if there's any action going on. I think this is the closest bit of racing we have. But Forest Jump then kind of needs to get a move on, I think. If he does want to get past Young Leader, that's the AlphaTauri. No, not the AlphaTauri, the Aston Martin in question. Tesco Meal Deal struggling this race. DRS then, Forest Jump. This is for P9. Yeah, still not close enough. It's one of the better overtaking opportunities as well. Looking further up, I think we had yellow flags there. Yellow flags somewhere, and again, it's the Aston Martin. I keep wanting to say Alfa Romeo or AlphaTauri because they all begin with the letter A. Into pits goes Weimar. Tesco Meal Deals retired from the session. Rayner up to P5, but he's still got a heck of a way to go before he gets onto that podium. I think Bendel's yet to pit, however, so not too far. And would you look at that? As soon as I say it, Tesco Meal Deal for retiring pretty much right on the track. We can just about see. No, we can't. He's parked. That's a terrible place to be parked. I think he might have crashed. Either way, it's brought out the safety car. Yeah, again, it's going to be one of those where, although I really desperately want to see how the incidents happened, we're not going to. Nice aerial shot, though. Mateus, Mikhail here. And, I mean, he's got to do it all again, and it's going to be difficult, because there's a few people coming into the pits now. Mikhail, he's drove really well. Not made any mistakes unlike, you know, the other two who started in front of him. Drove him brilliantly. He pits under the safety car. I can't get the limits of the track down. Yeah, I think there's some places where you think you've got more space than others. For example, I think it's turn... trying to figure out which one it is, actually. I think it's coming out turn... 3 or 4, I'm not sure. I might actually just be... No, it's turn 5, sorry. Turn 5, coming out of turn 5, there's a lot of like room to the left, I think it is. But I think if you take that too much room, I think that's actually track limits. But that's just one of them. Mateus into the pits, Aiden into the pits, they're all coming out of the pits now. Bendel out the pits, brilliant for him actually, because the Mercedes driver will come out back into P4 where he was before. This has been a really good safety car for the Mercedes driver. Finally a bit of luck goes their way. And Bendel looking good now in this race. Rayner coming out P5. Well, he was P5, he's P6 now as Weimart passes him. And I think that's really it to note under the safety car. Track limits, track limits, track limits. They are a pain in this game. Especially when you're trying to get the most out of your car. I know even the esports drivers really struggle with it. Let's just hope for not too long of a safety car, because, I mean, another one. 2 in this race at the moment. And another lap goes by under the safety car. And we are still waiting for the pack to actually be bunched up. Forest Jump will be next to join the train of cars, which is the safety car queue. And his teammate after him, Shotmaker. The young leader, Milk Cart, Ernestas, who's quite a way off them, and even further back is Syndro. He'll have a task and a half to catch up, because it looks like the safety car is not even going that slowly, you know. I might have been wrong there. To be fair to the safety car, it is absolutely like going as fast as it can around this track. It's not like it's going slowly. If you're in the car, it's Burt Mylander race. You know, you feel like you're going really quickly, but just compared to these cars, I mean, as you can see right now, even like 70 miles an hour, it just looks dead slow as a F1 car. See the acceleration, how quick do we get down here? You think, why is the safety car going so slowly? That's 110, a bit faster than that. It's probably like 115 going into that corner. It's not slow at all. If you've ever driven a car in real life, it's just really slow from the perspective of the man in a Formula 1 car. Surely this is the last lap of the safety car. Not another one. It is another lap, isn't it? Unless they call it really late, and they're not going to do that. That's incredible. Another lap. And yeah, we just watch on for one more lap. I don't really know what to say. Weimart is P4, which is quite impressive. Bendel's P3, Hang on a minute, I think... Oh my lord. I have definitely missed something. Mateus? Hopes for a good restart, yeah. But Mateus, I think, I don't know if anyone can actually confirm this, I think Mateus spun around. I'm fairly certain, I mean, I've kind of been distracted, but I'm very certain, yeah, he must have spun around under the safety car. He's now behind his teammate. And, well, a bad day that keeps getting better and then worse, and then, but he brake checked Aiden. Ah. Interesting. See what the stewards say after the race, obviously. I didn't see, because I've been focused on Mikhail and the safety car the entire... Yeah, it's my job as a commentator to try and make anything as I can interesting. I've had to waffle about the safety car speed for like 5 minutes, because this is such a slow track. It's probably more like 6 or 7. And that's no way! You cannot write this! You cannot write this Grand Prix with 12 laps to go. 12 racing laps to go. First Mateus goes around under the safety car, then Rayner goes around under the safety car. It's not easy. Okay, the tyres will get cold and you'll throttle maybe too much, but I cannot believe it. It's unprecedented. This is an unbelievable race. It could rival the Australian Grand Prix we actually saw in real life with just the most absurdity that I've ever seen happen in Aurora Racing League history. I don't think I've ever seen a race like this before. 2 safety cars, and both the 2 drivers that should be in contention for winning spun around in the second one. The amount of things that have happened in this race is incredible. When does Mikhail go? When does he put his foot down? And will Aiden be able to match it again? Well, he's gone now. And I think, looking at Aiden's thing, oh, he's slowed down. What's happened here? I'm not even sure what happened to Aiden. But he's dropped down to 7th. There's so much going on. And somehow, Bendel finds himself P2, Mateus P3. What a restart from him. Weemont P4. Domi P5. I don't know how Mateus has done that. That's incredible. I'm so confused at what's going on. I look behind. There's a huge train of cars. Here comes Aiden. Not a good restart. I don't actually know what happened. Can he actually get it around the outside against Forrest Jump? Keeps it in the lines. And down the inside he goes. He gets it. But he tags Domi. And around goes Domi. And that's definitely a penalty. That's got to be a penalty. Back up the inside. Forrest Jump goes. But Aiden keeps it around the outside. He outbraked himself and tagged Domi. Maybe there's a bit of a lenience there. Maybe, I'm not sure. I called it live. Is it a penalty? I'd imagine so. I might be wrong. Absolute chaos from the restart. I don't know what else to expect from this race. It's had everything. And what Weemont's going very slowly. Almost pins Forrest Jump in. I'm speaking so much, I'm starting to choke on my own words. And now Young Leader is on the back of Weemont as well. Weemont from 4th, 3rd, somewhere, down to P6. Young Leader gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Is he going to push it on the inside? No, he's not, but he tags the Alpine in the rear, going in through the tunnel. And now Shotmakers all over the back of them as well. It's such a tight grid. Who's going to come out victorious here? Mikhail setting the fastest lap. He's already 4 seconds up the road. Unbelievable. And Weemont, where even is he? He's going into the pit. I don't know what to even talk about here, because there's so much to focus on. Young Leader, then, miles away from 5th as it stands, but he's got everyone down to 10th place, or down to 9th place behind him, and one of those being Rayner. He has made up positions off the restart. He's going to be absolutely throwing that Ferrari into any corner he can find to try, in a hope of desperation, to get up the field. Here he comes then, down the inside of Ernestas. Rayner, do they make contact? No, they don't. They get very near to it though, and Ernestas keeps it round the outside. How long can he keep him behind though? The Ferrari driver of Rayner's going to get very impatient. Let's just hope he doesn't do something he might regret. We're going to have a look back up because Matthias is past Aiden, as we already knew. But I think Aiden's the one who's coming back at him. I'm confused. I think most people are. I'd hope they are, because otherwise I'm just going to look a bit stupid here. Rayner's still stuck behind, but there's so much going on. That's Syndro around again. And all while, Mikhail is 6.5 seconds faster than anyone else. Around the outside goes Rayner. Is this the move? Not quite, because Ernestas sends it back down the inside. But Rayner keeps it now, and he's in P8, and now he needs to go on a proper rampage through the field if he wants any chance of getting on the podium here. Aiden, Matthias has looked so quick, but Aiden, this is incredible pace from the Alpine driver. Mikhail, another fastest lap, 7 seconds up the road, and Aiden's putting the AlphaTauri driver under all kinds of pressure. Alpine versus AlphaTauri, number 7 versus number 8, but at the moment Aiden can't find his way through. But surely it's only a matter of time. We'll have to wait and see. Bendel P2, Mercedes luck for now has gone completely opposite to what they're used to. He's doing well up in P2. Let's hope he can keep it for his sake. DRS for both Matthias and Aiden. No DRS for Bendel, but still Aiden can't make the move. Matthias can't make the move either. Is overtaking an actual possibility for Aiden? Because I don't know if it is. He's very, very quick behind Matthias. But being a street circuit, the only place you can really get past would be in... Oh, I really hope that this isn't another safety car from Syndra. I think we'll be alright. The only places to overtake are on the DRS zones. And Matthias has got DRS as well. He's really quite far away from Bendel this time round. On the exit, though, too far back. Aiden will have to wait again. And all the while, this has brought Forrest Jump really close to the back. There's so many cars in contention for a podium, and no, around goes Aiden to the side of the track. What's happened to Aiden? Again, I can't quite believe what I'm seeing from the Alpine. He's just gone really, he's made a mistake clearly, but it's forced Matthias down to P6 without an end plate. So did they make contact? Is that why they're going slow? Because Forrest jumps up to P3, I don't think he'll be complaining, and Young Leader is up to P4, Shotmaker P5, and Rayner P6. That's the important one. But this top 6 is the most... I can't believe it. They're all good drivers, but really Matthias and Aiden should be there, but they're not. They're not there, and they both had to pit. Rayner P6, Shotmaker P5, Young Leader P4, Forrest Jump P3, Bendel P2. What a race he's having. And Mikhail P1. Matthias is retired from the session. This race gets more and more dramatic. We started with 16, we're down to 11. Unprecedented scenes here at Aurora Racing League. And I mean, a shameless little plug, but if you're watching here and you're debating whether or not to come back next week, you definitely should. There are still many drivers in contention for the championship, and Forrest Jump is one of them. And as it stands, he's on for 15 points this race, and Mikhail 12, 10, Rayner, 8. Ooh, it's going to be close between these two at the top. Rayner's going to need to get a move on here. Also, Shotmaker all over the back of Young Leader, and down the inside he was going to try and go. Rayner's gone around the outside of him. I was looking at the wrong two drivers. Sorry, that was my bad. Rayner up into P5. Forrest Jump, not as many points over him, but he has still got points over him. How long will that last though? Because Rayner is not taking any prisoners now. Will his teammate just get out of the way? I don't think so, because he's in a three-way battle for P2. I mean, no one wants to back out of getting a P2, and I know Forrest Jump won't be. At one bit, look at this then. He's going to have a nice run. DRS flap open. Look at his rear wing though. He's got the Ferrari there as well. Can't get complacent. But it's a difficult one, because I don't think they're really gaining enough. Oh no! No, it's Forrest Jump! It's Forrest Jump, and he's spun around. And he sees the P2, even the podium possibilities, slip away from his hands. Down to P7 he goes, and that's invited Rayner back up to P4. Mikhail needs to get as many points over Rayner as he can, and people spinning and losing it is not helping him at all. Rayner He knows this is for the championship, and now he's got Shotmaker all over the back of him. I think he overtook Shotmaker possibly before. No, he did. He did overtake Shotmaker before. I watched it happen. He's got his teammate Young Leader in front of him. Obviously, team orders. This is a league race, okay? The constructors doesn't really matter to anyone, I don't think. It's mainly about the drivers, right? That's what people are there for. I'm sure people have the constructors in the back of their mind sometimes, but it's the drivers that people really want. Just like real life. I know the teams want the constructors, but the drivers want the drivers. That's just how it is. But my point is, does Young Leader let him buy for the championship? Young Leader, I don't think he's really in contention. I mean, he could be if Reina had a terrible run of races, but does Young Leader let Reina buy to pursue Bendel and then eventually Mikhail? I'm not sure, but with only 6 laps remaining, six and a bit, 6 laps now. Worst race of my life, says Ernest. Oh no! No, around his Young Leader! Well, he didn't need to let his teammate by because he's gone around himself. And Reina, due to other people's errors, has gone up to P3's back in the podium places. And now he's going to put Bendel under pressure. Shotmaker, P4, I cannot believe it. Ernest gets the 3-second time penalty when he was just saying how much he hated this Grand Prix and how it's the worst race he's ever raced in. It just gets worse. Domi then, behind in P5, Shotmaker needs to watch out. Started using the wheel 2 days ago, and I can safely say I am slow as F, says Sinjo. At least you can take it as a joke, and at least I don't think you compromised anyone else's races doing it. Yeah, but racing with a wheel, it's difficult to start off with, and also it's very easy to spin around and make mistakes, and very difficult to recover them because you're new to it. No, but good luck on your wheel. I know, unlucky this race, but I would love it if you stuck around because, I mean, this is going to be a very dramatic final few laps here. Mikhail, I mean, oh, and now we're down to 10 drivers. All you have to do is finish the race. There is no way. There is no way. We've got another safety car. Sindro's here to the end, and I mean, I am glad you are, because we've got another safety car. When you think it can't get more dramatic, what more do you want? And Mikhail, he's comfortable with a 20-second gap, by the way. I mean, I was about to say it before the safety car got deployed. If you want to define the word perfection, just show them his race from the start of this, from the ending of that first safety car up until this safety car here. That would be perfection for me, because he's just drove absolutely incredibly, and if he doesn't win, he's robbed. If he doesn't win, he's been robbed. Bendel takes the lead of the race, but he should have pit. Those tyres, I can tell you how old they are now. 13 lap old mediums. If he pit, he's losing nothing. No positions he would have lost. Young Leader up to P3, so maybe he would have lost 1 to Young Leader, who's just decided to not pit. Reina's pit for the softs. Shotmaker's pit for the softs. Domi's pit for the softs. Forrest Jump's pit for the softs. Ernest has to pit for the softs. Milk. Oh, sorry, Milk Kite. It's too far back to even have reached the pit lane yet, and will not pit for the softs. Really bold. Weemart, even further back. Not pitting for the softs yet. We look at Bendel then. I'm not sure how many times he's led a race in Aurora Racing League. But I don't remember it much. Not putting is my only hope for winning, so you go for it. Do you know what? I genuinely respect that. I'm going to be honest, I don't know where you are in the standings this season. But I'm going to go out on one and say I don't think you're in contention for the title. I respect that you just want the race win. These softs feel sweet, oh. Oh, I don't know how to break this to you, Bendel, mate. You've got a bunch of soft runners who, no offence, I think Mikhail is absolutely flying this weekend. I've got a lot of pace. You're going to have to put a hell of a drive in if you want to keep that P1. Good luck. But I respect it, because obviously if you're saying, as you say, the only problem is the... Oh, yeah, that's a good point. 9 seconds earn. 9 seconds for earn. Well, I mean, if you can make your way up, Obviously, I mean, I'm the commentator. I'm not driving. I would say leave nothing out there. Leave enough out there so that A, you don't get track limits, and B, you don't ruin someone else's race. But just throw everything into it, because you might as well. Right. Got a few more laps on the safety car to go. I think I can put the gap to P9. I reckon you probably can. Milk Carts and Weemart have both been struggling today. Here's one. If you have ART and it runs ART at the end of your name, it's not very helpful, as demonstrated by our P9 and P10 runners. And it's the most chaotic race I've ever commentated. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And, now, all we do is wait. Mikhail, if he doesn't win, I think has been robbed, to be honest, because, 16 seconds, 17 seconds I think the gap was before the safety car was called out, right? I know it was 20 when he went into the pits, but that was because I think it was Bendel behind him, was going a bit slower under the safety car. 17 seconds a gap. That is an insane gap to pull out over a few laps. For him to not win this race would be heartbreaking for him, because he needs this race. He does need this race to get back in the championship fight. P9 is on mediums. You just should. I think he didn't pit, which was really weird. I don't think Weemart didn't pit either. He is on fresh softs pretty much though, so I understand that perspective. Yeah, really weird decision from Milk Cart, I won't lie, but maybe didn't have any tyres left, I'm not sure. Right, there won't be many left, and it's all down to Bendel. Yes, here we go. I was wrong about a few more laps. This is it now. Very good race. 2 wings replaced. Well, at least you could replace the 2 wings instead of having to drive the full race with them. Bendel, all eyes are now on you, because if you could win this Grand Prix fair and square, then I've seen it all. Bendel, you're on much older tyres, much slower tyres, and Mikhail's been blistering in his pace these last few laps. If you can somehow do it, you'll be a hero in my eyes as a commentator, and I think you'll go down in the Aurora Racing League Hall of Fame. When does he go? He's leaving it very late indeed. But he's gone now. He did a decent job of backing Mikhail up. Oh, he's not actually gone yet. He has gone now. He did a decent job to start with, backing him up. Rayner's already up to P3, looking at that P2 from Mikhail. And honestly, Bendel's only chance of getting that P1 is if Rayner and Mikhail start to fight, which is a possibility. But how long is it a possibility? We ride on board with Mikhail. Will he cut to the inside? Not quite. Rayner gets a 3-second time and even multiple warnings. But here comes Mikhail. He hasn't waited long at all. We got yellows in sector 1. It's Shotmaker down in P10. On the outside, it's Mikhail. On the inside, it's Bendel. But around the outside, it's just the superior pace that Bendel does not have over Mikhail. He took a gamble. It's not paid off at the moment. How much is he going to be able to defend Mikhail? I mean, Bendel could do him a solid here and keep Rayner and Young Leader and the likes of that behind. But how long can he do it for? Down the inside goes Rayner. And he takes that P2 spot, and now it's going to be really difficult for Bendel because he's getting put under pressure by Young Leader, Forest Jump, Domi, and this is a really, really good fight going on here. Have a look at this. Ooh, Ernestas losing it on the rear, had a good restart, but back down to P8. Overtaken by Weemart, actually. And Young Leader gets a 3-second time, but Bendel, drops down to P4. Then he dropped down to like P6 or something. Young Leader's dropped down. There's so much carnage going on. It's so difficult to keep up with. We're going to ride on board then with Domi. He's past Bendel. Bendel's now getting put under pressure from Weemart and Ernestas as well. And pretty much every driver that's here is going to be putting him under pressure. There's only one man that can stop Mikhail from winning this Grand Prix. And it's Rayner. But with 3 seconds worth of time penalties, it doesn't seem viable at all. Oh, that's a spin! No! No, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and I genuinely hate to say it, but the look of the Mercedes team stays terrible. Bendel has gone around, down to P9, And I'm sorry, Bendel, I think you should have pit. I think you'll agree with me as well there. I'm all for taking risks, though. Unlucky. Right, Domi. He could ruin Red Bull's fun a bit here by taking the final podium spot from Forrest Jump. No one's had a perfect race except for Mikhail today, I don't think. And he's increasing that gap. I mean, a commentator shouldn't... I'm not... I obviously, I want a good race. But at the end of the day, I also want Mikhail to win, because he does deserve it after such an absolutely spectacular race. Shotmaker. Really, you're going to put salt in the wound for Bendel. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, no, it can't. I mean, there's not enough time for another safety car, but if there was, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, and I think Bendel must have tagged something on the wall there. Just obliterates his front right tyre. Shotmaker does well to avoid the incident. Yellows in Sector 2, they'll get cleared up pretty soon. I don't really think there's that much noteworthy racing going on. Mikhail, fastest lap. Shotmaker, past Milkcart. Milkcart's not even a real driver, though he's using his AI. Young leader. Oh no, I was about to say he was close to making moves, but he spins around. And, I mean, I just can't. Only 2 rookie numbers. Absolutely. This is the most chaotic race we've ever had, though, I think. Anyway. Domi. Six tenths. 5 tenths. He's closing in on Forrest Jump. But one thing to know is that Rayner will drop down to P4 if he can't pull a gap. Ooh, young leader back up to P8, passing Milkcart. I mean, this is the only really battle noteworthy, but also Rayner is not pulling a gap to Forrest Jump or Domi behind. And at the moment, Rayner is not going to make it onto the podium. Which, honestly, would have surprised me at the start of this race, but with everything that's gone on, I would be surprised if he did get a podium. There's one more lap where Rayner can go all out and push, but the gap's decreasing to Forrest Jump behind him. And I don't think Rayner's got enough left in the tank to go for it. And Rayner is really struggling now. The gap only a second. And it's a shame for Rayner. It's going to be good news for Forrest Jump and good news for Domi as well. 2 deserving podium sitters. But Rayner, I mean, sorry, I always get them mixed up. Mikhail, just an absolutely superb drive. You can't fault it at all. Domi could put the press on right at the very end. We're almost finishing with Sector 2 now. Just the DRS zone after the hairpin, which is turn 13, I believe. And I mean, the gap to Rayner now, he's practically given up. Oh, Domi nearly loses it on the rear. That's going to let Forrest Jump breathe a sigh of relief. Now Domi's got to get a bit closer. I think he'll still be able to take benefit from the 3-second time penalty that Rayner got. But Forrest Jump just got very close to him at the end. Kind of backed off a bit there, and Domi nearly spinning. Manages to catch it though. And I think that's where they'll end. Shotmaker all very close to the back of Weemont, and I think there was a bit of contact there. But as tradition, we're going to have a look at this, aren't we? Mikhail, it's a flawless race. Definition of perfection. Mikhail wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Rayner second, but he'll drop down to 3rd and 4th. Domi picks up P3. Forrest Jump P2. That's your podium sitters for today. Ernest Last will round the final corner. He will get P5 on track. Where will he finish overall? Oh, he goes all the way down to P7, Shotmaker P5. And I can't actually, no, I don't actually know what the remaining order was. That was a Singapore Grand Prix. It's a pretty timid end to the race. But that, the end does not at all represent what happened overall. If there was a highlights reel for this race, I would absolutely, well, I mean, I could do the highlights actually, because I'm off school now, but it would take me a very long time, because there was so much to include. Mikhail, I mean, another drive, and another perfect drive from the Alfa Romeo driver. And not all hope is lost in the championship. There's still 4 races to go. And I can tell you what those races are right now. So, Azerbaijan, France, Great Britain and Saudi Arabia to round off a very difficult season. Let's be honest, you're going to be the next David Croft. I really do appreciate that. Beast. No, I would love to get into more professional no offense, that's really actually quite rude of me. More professional commentary. Sorry. I love this. I love my my role here at Aurora Racing League. France is really bad. It absolutely is. I think more of a Murray Walker. Yeah, just depends what other people label me as, but I would love to get into professional commentary when I'm older. But I don't want to talk about me, because this was an absolutely brilliant race. Mikhail wins after everything, and he was just rapid compared to everyone else. What a drive from him. This race was an hour long. An hour long. Thanks, safety cars. Forrest Jump P2. Domi P3. Mikhail Reina just about missing out with P4. But no, congratulations to everyone who managed to finish that race. Absolute pure chaos. Saudi Arabia is going to be chaos. Do you know what? You'd think it would be, but last time we did it, it was Minions. Minions drove around it. He's one of the fastest drivers I think I've ever seen race here in this league. Absolutely rapid. He made, you know, he made like look like some Mikhail and Rain, or he made them look like, you know, bottom of the midfield drivers. His ridiculous pace around Jeddah. You'd think it would be chaotic. It wasn't that chaotic, to be honest. The grid was very spread out, because I think everyone was making loads of mistakes, and they were really not bunched together at all. But I might be eating my words there, because I don't know if I'm racing next race, so I could maybe join for commentary. Do you know what, Ern? I get very, very lonely in the commentary box every race sometimes, especially when we've got safety cars, so that'd be great to have someone. Also, my voice is really feeling it now. We had a week's break as well. It's not helped it. But no, thank you to everyone who tuned in and watched. Thank you for all the kind words as well, and just generally for tuning in, because it does give me reason to carry on the commentary kind of thing. I hope you enjoyed the Singapore Grand Prix. I don't know how you couldn't, to be honest. What a race! What a race! Yeah, Phone Max probably will be fine though. It might be a bit choppy, but you know, great commentary as always, Sindru. Thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. Wouldn't be the same. Oh, too kind. No, thank you, seriously. Good luck to everyone. But yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate that. Congratulations to Mikhail, as I said, and just congratulations to everyone who actually did finish that race. Really tough one. Really tough track to race at. Top tier. Honestly, guys, you're making me blush behind the camera here. No, camera. Anyway, thank you. I have to end it now. I think I'll tell you what time it is for me. It's 9 o'clock. That's the normal ending time. That race was an hour long, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think it's normally that long. Anyway, thank you everyone who watched, tuned in. Hopefully we see you again next week. Yeah, but from me and everyone here at Aurora Racing, 10 a.m. 10 p.m. And yeah, anyway, for me and everyone here at Aurora Racing, have a good morning, evening or afternoon wherever you are, and well, from me, good night.